Welcome everyone to ScaleUpMastery.com, the place for business owners and managers seeking to sustain the scalability of their businesses through operations excellence.
Hello, Ivan. Thank you
Hello.
for being with us again on today's session. So today I'd like to cover some aspects on how iSteaks looks at operations excellence. So before I go ahead and start asking you the questions, perhaps you could share with the audience a little bit about iSteaks and, the history and the founding of the brand.
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me. I'm Ivan Loo. I'm the founder of iSteaks, and it all started like 14 over years ago when this brand was conceptualized. But before that, I was in the industry for the longest time, like 35 years. Started in McDonald's, followed by another American franchise called the Ponderosa Steak and Salad, and Kenny Rogers, also another American franchise. So my foundation was built pretty much from American franchise. Of course, along the way, love the food that this American has exposed me to. So I thought, hey, why don't I share this passion with like-mindeds? So there I began my journey on starting my own business, running a restaurant.
So since then, you've opened multiple stores and you've obviously also trained many batches of frontliners, of servers, cashiers, chefs, hosts, kitchen assistants. So, how have you been able to consistently execute the service quality, the quality of food? Do you execute your training in any specific form or manner?
There's actually no real secret. I guess the fundamental is first and foremost getting the right people on board. Right people, I means that you are able to detect that they do truly like enjoying the hospitality industry. Right? They got to have that inking for this industry to start off first. So that is the foundation. Yeah. Then whatever comes in, the training that you throw at them and all these things would be easily adapted and absorbed. So as far as, oh, sorry, you are.
No, so I was just going to tap on that part, right, where you say that first of all, it's from the point of recruitment, right, that they need to have that actual passion in the industry. So how do you have any secrets to share on how you actually detect it?
Again,
How do you tell that they are
yeah.
passionate about it?
Again, no, there's no real secret again here. When you start talking to any of my managers or the recruiter, and when they talk to the staff, it's always asking, why are you in this industry in the first place? Or if you don't have any industrial experience, we'll be asking you questions like, first of all, or rather, not ask a question. First of all, we'll see, would you even know how to say hi, a greeting when you come in for the interview? This is one simple indication to know that are you in this hospitality trade now? Are you suitable for the hospitality trade? Because if you don't have basic manners, what hospitality are you talking about, right? So that is just one of the tools that we use. Other than that, it's like from your industrial experience, what have you done? How do you achieve where you are? And this is where the questions in the interview detects the people that are suitable for you to hire. Yeah.
So I know you have, to some extent, so there's always the right fit, and then there's always the technical training, right? So I guess over time, the way you have been sharing the training with your team members has changed. What is the sort of mindset you think your managers or even yourself needed to adopt when you were taking on the challenge of maybe doing that transition from a traditional training program to executing a more digital process?
Okay. Now, the at the very beginning, we started training like anybody else. We just use the fundamental. I have a manual, or I have experience which I would just share with you, and then so using that as an example to train you and coach you, right? But we know that after a while the inconsistency comes in, uh, until you have a proper instructional manual to do the training. But all these are very tedious still. So at the when technology catches up, and all these are digitalized, like the use of the AMS was one of the biggest improvement for training, because we are able to do training by not just by means of showing you text, reading the literature, but we also have the video training program, and that amplifies the training ability. It helps trainees absorb even more quicker, and and on top of that, the as I said, the early on part, like with getting the right people, the right fit, one of the component we use to ensure that our ability to maintain consistency is getting the people on board with your objective. Uh, so in our business is about providing hospitality, and not just service but also quality, right? So you got to net people to buy into that, and follow, agreeing to follow your process and procedure, and that comes
So
from the
you've
training.
actually already addressed the next question I was going to ask. You know,
Oh,
when you mentioned that you use TreeAMS training program for
mm,
um, iSteaks, right? So that you can implement the training more consistently. I was going to ask you, you know, I'm sure that there were managers or your staff that gave resistance, right? It's like
mm.
the old way was working well. Why do we need to move to this? But it sounded like you already addressed it up front with your team members because they came in with the right mindset and the right
Yes.
attitude. But having said that, did you actually need to encounter any resistance at all within your team when you introduce a new way of training your team?
No, not at all. Surprisingly, when this notion of using the technology came in, everybody were kind of seeing like a relief, because all the paperwork is gone. You don't do filing, you don't have to write this, write that, and all. So that actually, this actually enhances the whole process of introduction of technology, and
Right.
embracing it was easy.
So I was going to ask you if operations manuals and training programs now play a big role in maintaining the quality consistency. But I believe you already answered that question, and the answer is a resounding yes, right?
Yes, yes, totally.
So now that it's been said, right, and you know that operations and training and compliance, it's a loop, right?
Mm-mm.
So how often do you actually update your training programs or your operations manuals? Um, um, is it something that you do regularly, and do you have a training manager that actually looks after it, or an audit team? Like if a company was to embark on this program, right, what would you advise, you know, the type of manpower they should have in place to execute the digitalization of their operations excellence program?
Uh, I can't speak for big company. For my own small SME, every man that I have has to uh, find time to adopt and adapt to this condition. So my managers, the restaurant managers in the operation, are part and parcel of all those people that maintain the system. But of course, then I have the head of operation that will scrutinize all the process and procedure, auditing all the training that is being executed, and ensuring that these are all carried out according to our own unique standard of operation procedures. So ideally, if you don't want people distraction, then you should have a separate department or separate man to manage a system. I think then it'll be a little bit more efficient. But right now we are doing it and on the ground by itself. So it's still adequate, given that we don't have too many people that we train every day.
But that's interesting because it sort of says that it's not so difficult a system that your
Mm.
team needs external experts to come in terms of people to update or having other training managers or hiring external auditors and all to come in to help you support your operations excellence program.
Yeah,
What
you're
you have
absolutely right.
in
Yeah,
terms
what I
of
have,
is enough.
yes, enough. Yes. Mm.
Wow, that is fantastic. So what you are saying is actually, regardless of the size of the company, whether you're a big or a relatively nimble sized restaurant chain, you can actually still adopt this technology and be able to train your internal staff to manage with the development of the changes in SOPs, improvements in training, and also using it for compliance and audits maintenance. That's
Yes,
fantastic.
totally.
That's fantastic. I often wonder if business owners actually care about operations excellence, and I'm very, very happy to hear, and I congratulate you, Ivan, on having a
Thank you.
team that actually do support your vision on service quality and operations excellence. Thank you
Thank you.
so much for your time today.
My pleasure.